Okay, so welcome to Ask Me Anything about acid reflux, heartburn, indigestion, GERD. This is a monthly session that I do. It's completely free of charge because I realize that there are a lot of people out there suffering from gut issues that are stopping them from living their lives. And not everyone has the ability to talk to a nutritionist as you will do tonight. And I thought I would give that opportunity to as many people as possible. So welcome. And this is, oh, sorry. So my mission for today is to give you some clarity on the subject of acid reflux, heartburn, and GERD, and to really be helpful with some steps you can act on right now for results you can see straight away almost, and to give you hope that you can live your life free of the symptoms, and also to answer your most pressing questions. This is not a place where I will give you personal diagnosis, so please don't ask me, would you say I have this, would you say I have that, because I cannot. It's not ethically possible or good for me to do that, and because I don't have enough information about your particular case. It's not a place where I'm going to give supplement or medication advice either. It's not in my place to tell you to give up taking omeprazole or whatever medication you're on. Ethically, I'm not actually allowed to say anything about it at all. So this is your decision as well. And if you want a personal consultation, this isn't the place. You can book a one-to-one for that. Who am I? This is a very quick one. I'm Natalie Sansonetti, and I'm a nutritional therapist, health coach, and EFT, which is emotional freedom technique practitioner. That's the tapping for some of you who might know about EFT. And I help women and men like you to get rid of their gut problems, to improve their moods, immunity, energy, so that they can enjoy the normal and exciting things in their lives. So why should you listen to me right now? I'm a fully qualified nutritional therapist, food allergy and intolerance therapist, EFT practitioner, and health coach. I have 11 years experience helping literally hundreds of people through one-to-one programs, retreats, conferences, talks, and I'm passionate, absolutely passionate, I think you will notice that, about the healing powers of food, and I have been for over 30 years. And I'm a single mom and worked in the corporate world for years before I became a nutritionist. So I know a little bit about pressures of time, and especially time and effort and energy on your ability to get healthy. So some clients, just to share a little bit of what some clients have said about what we've worked on and how it's worked for them. So, for example, Gemma mentioned she no longer has IBS after working for me for 3 months. She was pain-free, no tummy aches, no acid reflux, no bloat. She lost weight a little bit and felt so much better in herself, and her diet improved as well. Cecilia had almost 10 years of suffering from acid reflux and gastric issues. She was in a really, really bad state. Mom of 4 as well, so it was really stopping her from living her life big time. Afterwards, she basically came out feeling lighter, more energized, more content in her body than she had been for the past decade. And I saw her recently. She's actually become a friend, and she's completely clear of acid reflux and gastric problems. So let's clarify first what's acid reflux, heartburn, and GERD. First of all, a lot of people take one for the other, and heartburn is really the burning, and I'm going to go by symptoms so you understand what is what. Heartburn is when you feel the burning in your chest, and some people actually think they're having a heart attack because that burning sensation sometimes goes into the left arm. And that can feel like, what they say when you have a heart attack and it transfers into the left arm. But heartburn is usually around the chest area. Acid reflux is basically food coming back up the esophagus, and with it comes acidity and acids, gastric acids, which feels like heartburn as well. It feels like burning because of the acids coming up. GERD is a similar thing as acid reflux. It's very much used in America more than in the UK, for example. But GERD is sometimes also a more serious version of acid reflux. So you get the burning in the chest, you get the food and acid coming up the esophagus. Some people will feel a cough and inflammation of the throat as well, and some asthma symptoms also, because it's all around the, it goes in near the lungs as well, with the food coming up and the acidity. And some experience difficulty swallowing because the base of the esophagus gets very basically damaged. It can get inflamed and damaged. So that will give you difficulty and pain swallowing. So are you alone with acid reflux or heartburn or GERD? Heartburn and acid reflux affect 25% of the UK population. That's a quarter of the population. And in the US, GERD is the most common digestive disorder. That's 2019 figures. It affects at least 20% of the population in the US on a weekly basis as well. And it's the most common gastric problem in men and women between the ages of 25 to 74 years. And I will explain why. It's basically due to a decline in acid, which I will explain in a minute. I'll tell you all about it. So let's talk quickly about some causes of all of this, of acid reflux. I will just refer to acid reflux for tonight. The general consensus, the general feeling, or the general thought is that heartburn or acid reflux is actually caused by too much acid, right? Because it's called acid reflux, it comes up. So what I'm going to demonstrate, or at least explain to you, or try to explain a little bit about, is that it's actually caused by too little acid. And up to 90% of the population of the people who suffer from acid reflux actually have very low levels of acids and gastric acids in their digestive systems. Not too much, they have too little. So this is something you might not have heard before. The problem with acid reflux and GERD and heartburn is not too much acid. It's a dysfunction of the sphincter, which is a ring of muscles at the base of your esophagus. Okay, this is called lower esophageal sphincter dysfunction. LES, I'll call it LES for ease of for tonight. So when you have LES, it's because you've had intra-abdominal pressure, IAP, which means you're bloated and there's pressure pushing up from your stomach. I will show you. From your stomach, you get that pressure of the food and acids going up to the sphincter of the esophagus. And that's where the problem starts being felt. That pressure can be caused by obesity, overeating, lying or bending down after food or during food, spicy and fried foods. Okay, it can be also caused by, and very often caused by, carbohydrate malabsorption due to bacterial overgrowth. And that in itself can be caused by low gastric acid, and more often than not, it is caused and produced because of low gastric acid. Okay, low gastric acid will also mean that you have a lot of gas because of that carbohydrate malabsorption and fermentation in your body. So a lot of people with acid reflux, heartburn will also have gas, because the gas is what actually causes the pressure in the abdomen, and that causes the IAP if you look at a few lines up. Yeah, so low gastric acid actually causes gas because all the carbohydrates and the food you're eating is just sitting in your stomach without being broken down into smaller molecules in order for it to be broken down and passed on. And you're not going to absorb all the good nutrients from your food either. So you're more likely to suffer from anemia, you're more likely to suffer from osteoporosis and lots of other issues based basically on malabsorption of a lot of the nutrients you're taking from the food, or you should be taking from the food. So that low gastric acid will cause the pressure, which will then cause the gas, and it will push the food and the gastric acid, the little gastric acid you've got in your stomach, back up to your esophagus. And that will cause the acid reflux. And by the way, 70% of people who have acid reflux are more likely to get IBS as well. I'm not going to talk about IBS tonight, but you're more likely if you have gastric reflux. Why? Because you have low gastric acid, and it's all related. Yeah, your digestive system will be very slow if you have low gastric acid, which is the main cause of acid reflux here. Okay, so I've got a little graph next to it. If you move your pictures to the side, which is basically to explain again, if you put the pictures down, our lovely photos down. So low stomach acid will cause bacterial overgrowth, which can also be called SIBO. You might have heard that, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth. And that causes a lot of discomfort and bloating and gas. And the low stomach acid will also cause maldigested or badly digested carbohydrates and sugars. That will all cause gas, increased pressure, and that will cause the heartburn and GERD. Is that clear? Because this is really important as a piece of information here. So causes of low acid, hypochlorhydria, which is basically the low acid, age. As you age, your production of acid basically declines. That's just normal. Long-term use of acid-lowering medication as well. So all the medication you're probably taking, the antacids, all the medication that is meant to be lowering acid is going to make the problem worse, basically. Stress is also a major cause of low acid production. And infections as well. So for example, H. pylori is a big cause of acid reflux because of the damage that it might have done to your esophagus and the stomach as well, and the ulcers it might have caused. Then you have people who eat a lot of carbohydrates or sugar will be more likely to suffer as well. Dilution, by that I mean when you drink a lot of water during meals, that means you're diluting the little gastric acid that you're producing, and that's not a good idea. So here's your first tip of the day: do not drink during meals ever, because you will dilute the little acids that you're producing, and that's going to slow down your digestion and increase the pressure again. Eating habits, so it's not about what you eat, and this is tip number 2. I say to my clients all the time, it's not just about what you eat, it's how you eat. Are you chewing thoroughly? Are you slowing down? Are you eating standing up at your desk, driving, walking in the street, whatever you're doing? Are you taking time to slow down, to chew, and really mix in your mouth the food with all the enzymes found in the mouth? Yeah. So if you're not doing that, you might want to really review how you eat, not just what you're eating. So this is my clarification of what acid reflux and GERD and heartburn is. So in January, I'm going to start a group, which is going to be a group coaching program, which is called Stop Acid Reflux Naturally Permanently. And it's all going to be around increasing gastric acids in order to basically increase the speed of digestion, so you don't have fermentation and bloat and pain and gas and all that acid coming back up. So it will be with an online course, which has a step-by-step system. So every day, every week, you will have a different set of actions to take, so it won't feel overwhelming. And it's launching in January. It's also going to have a private Facebook group support, which is super important, because I've met loads of people who know all of this information, but they cannot stick with it. They cannot stick to the advice. They cannot stick to, you know, slowing down your eating and eating the right foods and eating at the right time and all of those things that will make a massive difference. So the group is there to help support all your actions and to support your online course. Then there will also be a weekly Zoom group call with me where I'll answer all your questions if you're doing this course. On the other hand, if you don't really want the group thing and you want personal advice, you're welcome to put your email address in the chat. Actually, for the course, you put your email address in the chat if you'd like to have more information, and I will send you information whenever I've got all the things launched in January. So next, if you want to have personal help and you don't want the group thing, you can book a free one-to-one consultation with me. It's completely free of charge. We'll discuss your issues. We'll discuss what your goals are, your health goals, how long you've had your problems, and then I'll give you the next best step and, you know, action that I think you should take. So that's done through that link. If you want to take the link and write it down, this is for a one-to-one consultation.